The NRM party indeed conducted elections on Thursday, and there were a number of flaws in some areas like you've mentioned, and these have been caused by the registers that had irregularities or flaws within the registers, like mentioned, where you find people who live in the area are not on the registers. So that leaves room for rectifying. But I'll start by saying that what we are seeing in the NRM primaries, they are actually helping the whole country to prepare better for the coming general elections, the NRM being the bigger party. That such inaccuracies will assist the National Electoral Commission to be able to identify areas of weaknesses and improve on them.
What are those areas of weaknesses?
For example, the updated registers. They think the NRM Electoral Commission has done a better work. Sensitization, registers went on time.
Has it really done a great job, Mr. Kakuru? Because in Luemiaga, Zimbabwe, General Rashandi, Brigadier General Rashandi retired, actually trounced Theodore Sechikuwa. But then Theodore says there were so many irregularities within that jurisdiction owing to the registers. He says now, like where he was voting in his polling area, there are 1,000 voters. But on the voting day, there were only 295 registered voters on the list. You understand?
That's
so
right.
he only took lesser votes, but it feels like he would have won more if the registers were actually complete. What do you make of that?
What stopped people from coming to the electoral process? Number one, you need to look at
their names were missing.
If there were 1,000,
it's not like they didn't come, but their names were missing. There were supposed to be 1,000 on the register, but when they came,
297
only
were there.
295 something were approved.
It means that the members in the community did not rise up to go and register for the NRM electoral process. You find that people went to register for the EC of the National Electoral Commission of Yamkama, and they forgot to register that in the NRM register. Now you find that when a person registers in the National Electoral Commission, he assumes that, or somebody assumes, being in the yellow book of the NRM, he feels that he's already what? In the register. So you might find that we have done less as a party voter sensitization process. Remember, the two processes were moving simultaneously, the NRM and the National Electoral Commission. Now you find that people are giving much more time to the National Electoral Commission. They assume the NRM being in the yellow book was sufficient to be able to have right to vote.
Understood. Let's talk about the bloodletting that transpired during that electoral process, especially in Zimbabwe. We did see some supporters allied to Theodore Sechikuwa, some of them being shot at. And we would like to know, why would brothers and sisters be shedding blood if they share the same party, they share the same ideology? The country wants to know, why use too much violence in this case?
One of the issues could be that one of the leaders has been there for about 20 years or 25 years, and people are asking for accountability. You see, there are two things between incumbent leaders and newcomers. For the incumbent, you ask, what have you done for us? To give accountability. And for the newcomer, you're asking, what are you going to do for us? So the two different approaches can conflict, and that can be a cause of such chaos or confusion. So it's not that being in the same party, same ideological beliefs, that entirely suffices the fact that you are not prone to conflict.
So we would like to know, the country is really worried if brothers and sisters are fighting because of the issues I've mentioned. Now, what about when they get into the wider general election and when they are encountering National Unity Platform party members, when they're encountering FDC members, People's Front for Freedom party members, the Democratic Party members? What is going to take center stage? Ugandans are actually of the view that the violence that emanated during the NRM primaries could actually be replicated in the wider campaigns and the subsequent election. What do you make of that?
Our NRM party is the most accommodative party, that we've had leaders whom you've seen contesting even in the recent elections, like Honorable General Tumkunde, who contested against the president, but he's back in NRM. We've seen leaders like John Patrick Amambawas, our former Secretary General, back in the NRM. We've seen leaders from UPC, the Omara Tubos, the DP, the Maria Mtagambas, they come to the fold. So NRM is a very accommodative party. So that social cohesion has formed part of our longevity of power, because our president is the most accommodative. He understands the social dynamics of our society. So we believe that mediation and reconciliation will enable us to find each other and find common ground on how we can build a formidable party besides the differences.
Where does the NRM leadership get the optimism to believe that this 29-man tribunal is going to actually resolve this crisis that actually failed in the previous two elections, 2016 and 2021, where we did see so many of your members revert to running as independents? Where is the assurance that this 29-man tribunal will be successful this time around?
You see, in mediation and conflict resolution, number one aspect that comes to play is called the mediator. The skill and the art of the mediator is very important. The second, the mandate given by the party leadership to that mediation team. Thirdly, the willingness of the participants to engage each other and find each other. You will find that some of those elements could have lacked, that this new team that they've put up probably will be able to learn from the mistakes and the weaknesses of the previous to rectify what needs to be done now. Therefore, we are very optimistic, because, mind you, in life, we all have to have hope. We have to all be optimistic. Without that, surely there won't be much to achieve. So we are very optimistic, we are very hopeful that having learned the past experiences will make a better tribunal.
But then you have so many of your NRM members who are saying that the problem is mainly the NRM chairperson, the NRM Electoral Commission chairperson, Dr. Tanga Odoi, especially in the cases that are happening in Namutumba. Pasis Namuganza, your very own State Minister for Lands, Housing and Urban Development, she says Tanga Odoi, the NRM EC chairman, and the Speaker of Parliament, Anita Among, have ganged up against her and other people they do not like. So what they are doing, according to them, if you win an election and they don't like you, they are making a call to the NRM electoral official within that jurisdiction and telling them to announce their favorable or favorite candidate. This modus operandi, it seems like if it continues, even the 20-man tribunal won't be able to resolve this crisis if everything has been narrowed down to two people.
I don't think that Comrade Tanga and the Comrade Speaker AAA can have that vast influence over the party primaries. Sometimes people create innuendos and perceptions, and you cannot stop people from forming perception. Because if an electoral official makes a call to seek guidance on a process, does not necessarily mean that Comrade Tanga of the Electoral Commission has altered. He gives an opinion based on what has transpired. So therefore, the tribunal becomes now the secondary adjudicator in a situation where a mistake has been made. That's why we explore the process. Okay, that has been done. There is another process that can be explored.
If this mediation process fails, are you worried as the NRM leadership that there will be massive defections to the opposition, others running as independents, or even worse, creating their own political parties?
The first one is that there is nobody who's going to defect from NRM going to opposition. That's not there. NRM is still the most preferred party. The aggrieved members, the only thing that I know of, they will run as independents, which has been the case before. Just like I've mentioned, the people who have been in the party have gone out, tried it on their own and come back. And independents, whom we've had about 78 of them in the current parliament, tells you that when they say NRM leaning, it tells you that NRM is still the best alternative they have. So there's nobody defecting to opposition.
Well, that's it for this wonderful conversation where we were reacting to the NRM primaries that transpired on Thursday. And I've been doing this with Honorable Phillip Kakuru, the Presidential Advisor on Trade, who is aspiring to become the chairperson of the SEC Entrepreneurs League. We do have another election that has been reorganized. It was cancelled on Thursday. It's going to be transpiring on Tuesday next week. That is in Bufumbira South. NMG will be on the ground to bring you the details as they continue to come in. In Namutumba, the State Lands Minister, Pasis Namuganza, says they'll be boycotting the LC5 elections that are forthcoming because of the chaos that transpired during Thursday's NRM primaries. We'll keep you up to date. My name is Romeo Busiku, signing out.